Thank you.
Let us pray in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Praise be Jesus and Mary. Amen. So, mag-start ng gihapon ta, no, even if others are not yet around. So, let's just welcome them as they join our meeting this afternoon. So, for our session this afternoon, we will be covering two things. Ang isa, supposedly, mo ato ang i-discuss last Monday. But because of our activity, which I thank you for attending, we will have to postpone the discussion today. So, in lieu of our supposed meeting last Monday, gitagaan mo na ko og something to work on. I saw na you were able to do it, no? So, isa na sa ato ang i-cover karong hapon. Okay? So, as we continue with our discussion this afternoon, we will look into search engine optimization as one of the tasks that can be given to a virtual assistant. So, siya actually ang last task na ato ang i-cover. I know there are a lot of tasks na pwede pa nato ma-cover, but because of time constraints, we will limit ourselves with SEO as our last topic or last task that we will be covering. Okay, and then the second part of our meeting this afternoon, ato ang i-allot to introduce some topics on technical support. Okay, so muna primarily ang ato ang concerns this afternoon. Okay, so magsugod ta with some discussion on search engine optimization. And because you were already given the task to read about search engine optimization last Monday, mag-expect ko karong hapon as we go along with our discussion nga na ay input coming from students. Okay? Gikan sa inyo ha as to your readings, kung say ma-recall ninyo sa inyohang gi-search, inyohang gitanaw, kung nagtanaw man galing mo videos, kung sa inyohang nabasahan, if you've read articles or books, and then unsay resulta sa inyong discussion, had you done some discussions among your peers. Okay, so mo na to ang mamahimong dagan sa session karong hapon. So allow me to share para lang guided ta. This was the instruction given to you last Monday. No, so you were to actually search about search engine optimization or SEO. And then to help you have a thorough discussion, gitagaan pud mo og list of guide questions which you need not really to answer, pero para lang murabag na ay direction as to what should be contained in your discussion sa document nga inyong isubmit mo na naghatag ta og guide questions. So karong hapon as we discuss search engine optimization, ato ang gamiton na lang pud ning ato ang guide questions para naapod tay certain flow no sa ato ang discussion karong hapon. Okay, so without further ado, let's start answering these questions. So magsugod daw with question number 1. Okay, what is search engine optimization? So sige daw, based sa inyong ma-recall with the activity that you had last time, unsa man inyong understanding? Okay, unsa inyong ma-recall? unsa man na si search engine optimization? Can anyone from the group share to the class unsa man ninyohang pagsabot based sa inyohang na-recall or ma-recall sa inyohang gibuhat last Monday? Sige, Mr. De Niro is saying search engine select Google. Okay, naa siya'y kinalaman sa search engine sama ni Google. Thank you for that, Mr. De Niro. Ms. Villa Flores is saying nag-allow na ma-visible ang site mo, sir, sa search engine. Okay, that is noted. Mr. Gulanes is saying optimization sa website, sir, para mas taas ang ranking niya sa Google search. All right. Any other input coming from the group? Dili kinahanglan verbatim gyud hang ako unsa tong nabasahan ninyo or unsa tong inyohang napaminawan, nadunggan, nakita sa inyohang gipang tan-aw or gipang paminawan mo inyohang ingon. Based lang gyud sa inyohang ma-remember ug sa inyohang pagkasabot, most importantly. Unsa man si search engine optimization? Sige, Ms. Lalis is saying helps to show your website as a top result for searches. Okay. Sige. So, ug wala na mo habol, ato ang i-consider ning mga input coming from the students. Okay, and then ato siyang sulayan og himay-himay tanaw nato kung unsa siya ka duol, unsa siya kalayo dito sa ato ag yung general understanding of the concept of search engine optimization. Now, kung tan-awon nato sa term na gihatag, we have actually search engine optimization. There are two terms there na pwede na to bungkagon and then we'll try to understand it. Tapos ato siyang i-combine balik para masabtan nato ang dagan gyud sa search engine optimization. Okay, so first and foremost, we have search engine. I am pretty much sure na kita tanan dinhi kaila o kasabot unsay gamit sa search engine, no? So, mao ni ang tool na nag-allow sa to para maka pangita og mga resources over the web. Okay? So, pinaagi sa search engine, ma-allow ta aron maka-search og mga information nga gikinahanglan nato. Ginahanglan nato aron ma-solve ang certain problem, okay, or ma-address ang certain issue, information nga magamit nato para madungagan atong kahibalo, and any other motivation for us to acquire information pinaagi sa mga search engine atoan ni silang mabuhat. Okay? Now, the second term na itong kinahanglan tan-awon is optimization. Okay, the process of optimizing things. Na pag may optimize, unsa may pasabot ana. 'Di ba? Pag may i-optimize, mura ba og atoa siyang isagad gani in terms of improving it, atoa siyang isagad para mas mapuslan siya. Okay? That's basically what we are referring to optimize. Okay? Ato siyang i-improve, ato siyang i-upgrade, ato siyang i-develop further aron mas mapuslan nato siya. So karon, given our understanding of what a search engine is and what optimization is, pag mintag search engine optimization, very simple, no? Dili kinahanglan taas kaayo ato ang hinumduman sa iya. It's just basically the process of making your website visible or more visible for search engines. Okay? Muna actually ang purpose ni search engine optimization. Making your website visible or more visible for search engines. Okay, nga na dito ka-simple ang definition na to sa SEO. Kaya lang, para masabta nato na o mas ma-appreciate nato na, kinahanglan nato subayon, nganong importante man nga mamahimong visible ang ato ang website sa mga search engine. Ngano di ay kung naalang ako na akong website nag-exist, di siya nga naka-visible sa search engine, so unsa day mahitabo. Okay, so kinahanglan nato na siya ma-figure out. Now, importante si search engine optimization tungod kay sa gipang input pa ninyo no, sa gipang ingon ninyo dinhi, makatabang ang search engine optimization practices aron mas mahimong visible, and by visible ang atong pasabot din ha, when someone searches for an information, so usually ang atong ginabuhat, di ba, mo type ta og keyword or terms, a search term, a search phrase, a sentence, a question. Usahay gani, mogamit ta og image, mogamit tag audio, mogamit tag video in our searches. Pero regardless of how we do it, the very reason why we do this is for us to be able to get information. Yang katong information nga atong makuha, naapod tay paggamitan adto. So sama sa atong gi-mention ganina, pwede na to siya gamiton to solve a particular problem, to address a particular issue. Pwede pong just so we gain additional knowledge so that we get to do things, no? So muna basically ang ato ang mga purpose ngano ta mo search. Now, unsay kinalaman anak karon with search engine optimization? Now, as we all know, when we type something into our search engine, let's say for example, Google in particular, as you hit the enter key, maumatoy mo signal sa pag-process sa imuhang search request, you will be given search results. Okay, so any search engine would do that. Mapa Google, mapa Yahoo, mapa Bing. It pretty much works the same, no? When you type in something and when you hit enter, that basically signals the processing of that request, and in turn, you will be given search results. Karon, ang search results, as much as possible, ni-consider na siya sa daghang mga websites, sa daghang mga web pages nga nag-exist over the web. I-consider niya na tanan. Okay? The only problem is, usually, search engine would not present all the relevant information at a single glance. Meaning, if you look at the search results page of Google, dili nimo makita diha tanan ang result sa imuhang gi-type na search key, no? Gituyo na siya para dili nga naka-overwhelming pod para sa user nga daghan kaayo siya kapilian. So normally, limited lang ang bilang sa pages or sa website na gina-return ni Google or for any search engine, limited lang na iyang una ipakita so that the user won't get overwhelmed. Yeah. Sagad sa mga users, this is based on my personal practice and I think you would all agree. Sa first page pa lang sa results page, kung makita na nato tong information nga atong gikinahanglan, di ba normally, dili naman tamutan-aw pa sa ubang pages. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you do that? Hintahay, nag-type ta diya sa ato ang browser og nearest Jollibee. Okay, sa first page pa lang sa result, naanatay nakitaan nga information about that particular search. Helpful na to siya. Kaya lang, pag once nakuha na to, dili na ta mo tanaw sa ubang pages, correct? Enough na ang first page. So, diha mo sulod ang importance sa search engine optimization. Why? Because kung ikaw tong tag-iya sa website, especially if your website has something to do with business, okay, generating income, gusto nimo nga when people search for something, especially for a product or a service, and you are selling that product or service, appeal ka sa mga unang makitaan sa user. Nganong importante man na, of course, if appeal ka dito sa first page, the list of websites containing the relevant information related to the search key of the user, dako kayog chance nga matanawan ang imuhang website, and that can actually do a lot of things for your business. So, mo na ingana ka importante si search engine optimization, especially for websites that are used for businesses. Okay, for income generation, for selling, for marketing, importante kayo si search engine optimization. Now, if you are someone who owns and manages a website, pero ang website dili gyud necessarily kinahanglan og digital traffic, okay ra nga walay mo tan-aw, okay ra nga naay mo tan-aw, then SEO might not be that appealing to you. Okay? So, that being said, pwede na to iingon nga si SEO dili gyud na siya requirement sa tanang website. Dili ka murabag walay balaod nga nagaingon nga kung nag-create kag website, then automatically required ka mo practice og search engine optimization. So walay ing ana. Okay? Nasabtan ba so far? Nakasunod pa ba gihapon ta? Okay. Now, in doing search engine optimization, there are a lot of things that you can actually consider, no? Daghang mga factors na i-consider ang isa ka search engine specialist, as search engine optimization specialist or SEO specialist, aron masiguro niya nga ang iyahang gina-manage nga website will really have better ranking for most, if not all, search engines. Okay? So, with that, ato ang ma-imagine nga, pag maingon di kag SEO, it's not just about writing the right content, using the right keywords para mahimo siyang searchable or any other components. It's a collective effort, and tanan aspect sa website kinahanglan i-consider. Okay? The content, the aesthetic, meaning ang visual aspect sa website, the controls, the navigation, all these things importante na siya para sa overall nga SEO effort sa website. Now, ang question na to karon, daghan kay considerations nga dapat masaalang-alang. Daghan kay mga factors nga dapat matan-awan og ma-consider pag mahintag SEO. The question now might be, with all these considerations, unsa di ay ang pamaagi sa mga search engine as they look for websites or web pages with respect to the search key supplied or given by the user? unsa man di ang mahitabo gyud. So let's take for example the case of Google. Knowing that Google is our number one search engine. Okay? Diba? Ang ato ang murag number one go-to search engine if dili na gyud nato kaya i-figure out ang mga bagay-bagay on our own. So, ato ang sabton, unsa bay ginabuhat di ay ni Google in terms of Google searches. Okay? So, when someone uses Google as the search engine, true to all other search engine, ang pinaka course of action gyud ni user is to provide a search key. So ang search key pwedeng words, pwedeng phrase, pwedeng sentence, be it in a declarative form or an interrogative form. Ikaw na bahala. Basta search engine would normally have a way of analyzing your search key. Okay? So gamit tong search key and as you hit enter, dito na magsugod ang pag-process sa imong search engine adto imong request. Okay? And then ang output ana of course mag-expect kag search results wherein dito sa search results page nakalista na dito ang lain-laing mga resources na relevant dito sa imuhang gi-specify na search key. Now, ginaunsa man na ni Google ang pag-search ni Google actually it involves 3 basic steps or 3 stages. So, muagi siya sa first step, which is what we call as crawling. Okay? Sunod, after sa crawling, muagi siya sa next step, which is indexing. And then, lastly, muagi siya sa ato ang last step, which is dito na i-provide ni Google ang katong mga search results. Balik ko na to na crawling, that's the first step. We have indexing, that's the second step. And then lastly, serving of search results. So atong isa-isahon, unsa may pasabot nato sa matag usa ka step. Let's look at crawling first. Okay? So, Google searches the web with automated programs called crawlers. Okay? So, looking for pages that are new or that are updated. Okay, kabalo man gyud ta, di ba? Pag mayon ka og web development, especially if it's a website that is used currently by an organization, a group of people, from time to time, gina-update gid nato ang unod sa ato ang website. Namurag, gone are the days nga mag-create ag website na static lang gid tanan. Nga once all the materials, once all the resources have been uploaded, never na maka-encounter og changes ang website. Murag humanata sa panahon nga ingon adto. Karon pag main ka og mag-maintain kag website, from time to time, you really have to introduce changes to your website. From content, to structure, to design, anything na makatabang para mas matagaan o better experience ang imuhang audience or ang imuhang user. Okay? So, sa crawling stage or step, si Google, mangita na siya paagi aron makit-an niya or mailhan niya kinsa tong mga web pages or website nga nag-exist sa web kaya lang wala pa siya kaila. Kay possible man na nga nag-create ko karon og bag-ong website gi-up nako and it becomes readily available over the internet. Pero dili automatic nga kaila si Google sa ako or sa ako ang website na bag-uhay lang gi-up. Mo na nga mo perform good always si Google sa step number 1, which is crawling. Kaya para katong mga website, katong mga web pages na ay content related to the user's search key, na siya way of knowing that. Ila-ilahon sa niya. Okay, that's basically what happens in crawling. Now, the next step to that is what we call as indexing. Okay, so after na na-crawl, so basically, gipangita, giila-ila, and then gihinumduman. That's what happened during the crawling. After that, ang next na concern is, okay, naka-establish naman o mura ba og linkage, kaila naman si Google sa iya the next, dili po siguro, alista na to ang term, dili kay kaila, pero kabalo na si Google nga nag-exist to nga website or katong nga web page. So, as part of indexing, diha mahitabo ang pag-ila-ila further. Okay? So, Google visits the pages that it has learned about during the first step or sa crawling na step. And then, Google tries to analyze what each page is all about. Pasabot, ginasubay or ginasusi ni Google ang tanang aspect sa mga pages atong website na iyang na-crawl. Okay? Iyahang analyzon ang unod sa kada web page, unod sa tanang web pages adto nga website, regardless kung unsa ang form sa content. Normally, it's text, but there are also non-text contents. So, tan-awon na tanan ni Google og iyahan ng analyzon. Sabton niya, unsa may ginaingon ani. So, of course, as you heard, yes, atong Monday sa discussion ni Ma'am Christine Adlaon, di ba? Na ay concept of natural language processing, machine trying to understand what text are saying. So, ingana sa gihapon ang ginagamit sa mga technology ni Google for indexing. There is a component that tries to understand text. Unsa may ginaingon aning text? Okay? And then, naapod way to analyze images and video, especially kung naay mga annotations, no? Naay alternative text, naay descriptions, dili lang yun purely images and videos. So, mo na ginabuhat sa indexing. Ginasulayan og sabot unsa man ang page or unsa man ang website all about. Why is this important? Remember that when we search, our search key are often very unique to our or very specific to our needs. Therefore, Google has to find out what your website is all about, what are your web pages all about, aron makabalo pud siya later on kung kana ba nga particular page or kana ba nga particular na website related ba na siya dito sa search key nga gi-input ni user. That's basically what the purpose of indexing is. Nya, ibutang na siya ni Google sa iyang mura og central repository. Iyaha lang pud na, okay? Iyaha lang pud ng repository. So other search engine perhaps also maintains their own repository. Okay, so mo na nga, kung ang imuhang page or ang imuhang website na-crawl na ni Google and na-index na niya, taas na ang possibility na mag-reflect ka sa search result when you use Google to search for a particular information. Okay, so balik ko na to ha. Step 1, that's scrolling. Ang pagpangita sa mga bagong usab na mga web pages or website. We also have indexing, ang pag-analyze sa unod or content sa website para mahibalaan kung sa asa sa nga topic related, unsa ang main point or unsa ang main idea sa content, unsa man ang iyang ginaistoryahan, unsa siya about, and so on and so forth. The third step is what we call as serving search results. Okay? So, when a user performs a Google search, Google tries to determine the highest quality results. So, the best results have many factors, including things such as the user's location and previous searches. Okay, so moagi gyud og pag-analyze tungod kay dili man pwede nga mo rely lang solely sa search key ni user. Unsay pasabot-an sir? Unsay imong ginaingon nga dili mo rely? Okay, let's do an analogy. Let's take for example, ako nag-search ko about, let's say, what I have in mind is takoyaki. So, nag-search ko takoyaki. Mo to akong gihimo nga search key. So, kamo pod, kung asa man mo karon situated, and other people, kung asa man pod sila situated karon, pwede pod nila actually buhaton ang pareho sa akong gibuhat. They can or you can also search for takoyaki. Pero ma-surprise ta tungod kay even if we are using the same search key, chances are we will be seeing different results. Why? Because search engines are smart enough to consider not just the keyword you use for your search, but all other factors as well, including your current location. Okay, so maubitaw na pag mo search ta gamit ang isa ka particular keyword, even if pareho tag keyword ni gigamit, mag-expect gid ta nga naay kalainan sa ato ang search result page. Okay, sa location pa lang daan, kung i-factor in si location, situated man ta sa lain-laing location. Meaning, if we are searching for takoyaki because we are interested in eating takoyaki from the nearest takoyaki store, dako gyud kaayo tong diferensya ang ato ang current location. Kay kintay ako nako karon sa eskwelahan, so I am somewhere in Father Selga or in Bangkerohan. So ngano man kung tagaan og search result nga naa pa didto sa Turil, naa pa sa Panabo, diba? So base na ay mas tuol sa kuha. So gamiton to siya, gi-consider to appeal sa search engine para kung ang point nako nganong nag-search kog takoyaki kay gusto ko mukaon, helpful para sa ako ang search result na ihatag ni search engine. Okay? Klaro ba na nasabta na siya? So, mao to siya ang last step, no? Ang pag-serve sa search results. So, after gi-crawl, gi-pangita tong mga existing websites, katong mga bag-o most especially, o katong mga gipang-update. Indexing, the second step, ang pag-analyze sa unod gyud sa website or sa web page. And then lastly is serving the search result. Okay? So, ang search result that is heavily reliant on your search key and other factors, including your current location. Okay, so basically, ing ana ang dagan sa Google search. If you try to search something on Google, probably mauto ang iyahang giagian before pa ka nakakita og list of website as part of the search results page. Okay, so far nasabtan na nato unsa si SEO, nasabtan na nato how does it work and why is it important. So kanina lang sigurong last two questions. Number 4, when should someone consider SEO? Sa ato ang na-mention ganina, no, mag-SEO ta if the website we are managing has something to do with kato, business, income generation, lead generation. Okay? Importante na sa ingani na klase na website. For websites that not necessarily used for income generation or for business, actually si SEO, dili good kaayo nato ma-appreciate. Okay? So, muna, if ang imuhang website nila gi-maintain, kung ikaw man galing ang responsible sa pag-maintain sa website, na ikinalaman sa pagtabang sa kumpanya or pagtabang sa organization para mas mo dako ang kita, then perhaps SEO is a very helpful tool, no? Now, for the last question, what are the expectations from a virtual assistant who does SEO? First and foremost, dapat ang virtual assistant knowledgeable. Okay? Dapat ang virtual assistant kasabot sa concept ni search engine optimization. Kaya kung wala manggug kakasabot, how do you think could you function best kung ikaw mismo sa imong kaugalingon wala ka kasabot nganong ginabuhat nimo na para asa na siya? Okay? Simply because you do not understand the concept of search engine optimization. Ikaduha, dapat skilled pod ang imuhang search engine optimization specialist or SEO specialist. Kasi pasabot nato sa skilled. Pwede man good nga knowledgeable ta. We know exactly the concept of SEO. We know the terms associated with SEO. We can give definitions to these terms. We can explain a lot of things about SEO. Pero ang question din ha, kaya ba nato na i-put into practice? Kaya ba nato na siya i-translate from theoretical concepts into something that one can actually really use in an existing website? That's what we mean with skills, no? So, dapat na ay kahibalo, that's given, that's important. Pero, more than having the knowledge and the sound understanding of the concept, one should be able to utilize these concepts and put this into action, to put this into use. Okay? So, mauna basically ang expectations nato from a virtual assistant who does SEO. Klaro ba so far? Nakasunod pa ba gihapon ta?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I am handing out some links, no, para kung gusto ninyo good i-explore pa further, especially when we talk of Google as a search engine. These links might help you on that. Okay, now we are supposed to have someone to talk about search engine optimization based on an actual practice, no, based sa iyang experience being a search engine optimization specialist. Unfortunately, kay dili man siya maka-join during the weekdays because of conflict with her schedule. Mao to nga nagsaad siya nga mag-provide na lang gid siya og material, okay? A video recording of her sharing some inputs with regards to SEO as a job, no? So once this material is made available, ako atong ihatag sa inyo ha. You can look at that. And then, kamo na karon ang mo try og pinpoint from the concepts we've discussed, how does that translate to an actual practice? Okay? Nindot to sa iya kay mao man gud jud ang iyahang nature of work. So expected na gyud nga dili lang ni about just understanding the concept. So sa asama sa tong giingon ganina, di ba? Unsa bang expectations nato sa virtual assistant nga mo trabaho og SEO? One must be knowledgeable and of course one must be skilled. So kaning duha present ni siya dito sa ato ang guest. It's just sad nga dili siya ka join sa ato karon to give the input live. So maghulat na lang ta sa material ni iyahang i-provide. Okay? So far ba na ay mga questions na amoy gustong iklaro at this point in time? Okay, so nakasunod pa ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. So very good. Now, if wala na tayo question, so basically that's our first part, no? We're done covering search engine optimization. Though pahabol na lang ditong input coming from an actual SEO practitioner. So we can proceed now with the second part of our afternoon's session. So we will be talking about technical support. So, di ba kung balikan nato ang course title ang inyong IT Elect 4, this is virtual assistance and technical support. So these are two different things. Though, in some scenarios or in some settings, si technical support falls under virtual assistance, especially if it is being offered remotely. So, tuwara na siyang subtone unya as we go along with our discussion on technical support. Okay, so, to begin, unsa man ninyo ang pagsabot sa term na technical support? Kinaka-encounter naman siguro tatanan ani nga term, no? Dili man ni bag-o sa toa. But based on your personal experience, hearing the term technical support or coming across the term technical support, unsa man na sa inyong pagkahibalo? If you want to use your microphones, you can do so. If you want to just simply respond via our chat box, please feel free to do that also. Sige, Mr. De Niro is saying nag-assist sa technical. Alright, sige. Mr. Nicolas is saying nagabigay ng advices or help with regard sa software or hardware problems. Okay, that is noted, Mr. Nicolas. Any other input from the group? Okay, Ms. Villaflores is saying same thoughts po, sir. Okay, so basically the same with Mr. De Niro and Mr. Nicolas. Oh, may masabi lang. Tama ba, Ms. Villaflores? Or tinood yun nga same thought? Sige. Others? isa maning naa dire. We have Miss Lalis, Mr. Golanes, Mr. Delgado, Mr. Visaya, Mr. Evangelista, Miss Alemania, Mr. Gomera, Mr. Villamil, Mr. Coronado, Mr. Colango, Mr. Prieto, and Mr. De Niro. How about you, ladies did I, and gentlemen? Anything you wish to add sa gipang input ni Mr. Nicolas, Mr. De Niro, and Ms. Villa Flores? Okay, Mr. Villamil is saying, mag-manage og maintain og software. Okay, sige, that is noted, Mr. Villamil. Thank you. Wala na ipahabol. Okay, sige. So, let's take into account all of those, all of your inputs, and then tanawon nato kung nabagid na siya sense when we try to explain what technical support is, no? So technical support, often shortened into tech support, okay? This has something to do with managing an organization's computer systems and network. So pag moingon ka og managing, that already encompasses monitoring, that already encompasses maintaining, setting up, upgrading, anything na kinahanglan or angay buhaton sa computer system o computer network sa isa ka organization, that's part of technical support. Okay? So you will be responsible for diagnosing any hardware or software faults within the system. And after doing that, you are expected to solve the issues. Okay? Nasabtan? So, naka-mention ta dito na ay hardware component na ay software component. So, si technical support di ay as a job, dili lang ka-limited sa purely hardware lang tanan or purely software lang tanan. It's actually the combination of these two. So if you will be working soon as a technical support, mag-expect na ka na people will actually be asking for assistance, addressing issues to both hardware and software. No? So pag tech support, dili pasabot nga you're just a software guy. Na maskin pag unsaon kag bali-bali basta pag software ang istoryahan, kamaogyog ka. Pero not so on the hardware. Dili pod siya for hardware guys nga maayo kayo in terms of hardware kay ila sa tanang mga bag-ong hardware unsay updated, unsay bag-o, unsay kusgan. Pero not so on software. Dili pod ka pang dili gyud ka necessarily pang tech support because again as what we have just said, si technical support covers both software and hardware. So as much as possible, you have to be adept with both. Clear? Now, si technical support, normally or usually, you find this job among organizations. Okay? Yeah. Oftentimes, this job is done by people personally or physically. Diba kay, ang ato na magod karong understanding sa pagpanarbaho, especially with the new normal, halos tanan, alternative working spaces na, no? Majority sa tanan, naga-online na. Pero, the essence really of technical support is that they are found in organizations, not necessarily all, but they are found in organizations and they do their job oftentimes in person, okay, live, na ay physical or actual interaction with the client. Okay, nga na ang technical support. Mabito to giklaro na to ganina nga. Pag may kag technical support, this is actually a different concept with virtual assistance. Okay, kay oftentimes sa technical support walay constraint in terms of physical proximity tungod kay ang nanginahanglan og support ug ang mismong tagahatag sa support situated sila sa parehong lugar. Okay? Nya. Pag may tawag technical support kay 'di ba mo cover man siya og hardware and software, daghan og klase-klaseng role na pwede nimong pasudlan. No? Technical support ka generally because you cover both hardware and software, pero pwedeng na ay specific lang gyud na trabaho ang ihatag sa imuha. Okay? So pwede ka i-consider as maintenance engineer. That's still a tech support job. Okay? You can be assigned as a help desk operator. That's still a tech support staff. Or pwede ka applications support specialist. So if you are into software, you can do that. Still, you are a technical support staff. Okay, so being a technical support, unsa ba normally ang ginabuhat sa isa ka technical support staff or tech support staff? So if we are to situate ourselves in a particular industry, let's say for example sa TUA, naaman ta na bilong sa academe, that's the industry where we are actually included or part of. Sa TUA, dili kayo nato ma-appreciate yun ang presence sa technical support. Especially sa people who are in the computing discipline. No, kay part manggod sa ato ang ginatun-an ang kinahanglang tun-an both the knowledge and skills of a technical support personnel or staff. So kita among ourselves murabag trained ta to do what they do. Part na sa atong kinahanglan mahibalan as IT and CS people. Okay? But for others, dili na nila linyada. Okay? So, sa case ni UIC, being in the academe, dili nga nakataas ang demand. Kung makita ninyo, na naman gyud mo experience being in school, no, using our laboratories. Normally, isa lang gyud ka mura og laboratory staff ang gina-assign per campus, and then tagaan na lang siya og mga student assistants to do the job. Okay, dili man gud ing ana ka murabag heavily reliant ang school sa mga computers. So dili ing ana ka taas pod ang murabag incidence of people having problems with their computers. Whereas in other industries, like let's say for example, business process outsourcing, BPO companies, kanito ang mga industry na heavily reliant on the use of computers. No? Murag wala man siguro yung BPO nga wala nagagamit og computer as they do their day-to-day task or operation, no? Ang mga BPO companies expected gid na sila nga computers ang halos kaatubang sa ilang mga trabahante. And because of that, tungod kay taas ang demand or taas ang utilization sa computer, mas dako pud og chance nga maka-encounter og mga problema along the way. So, mo na nga ang demand sa ilaha for technical support staff or tech support personnel or tech support specialist mas taas compared sa ubang industry because they really need that. No, kay ang ilahang mo mga trabahante, let's say for example, kanang mga agent nga nasa mga BPO companies, dili manggod tanan din ha tech savvy or kana bang nitoon gyud or kaantig gyud mo kore pag may kag technology na, pag may kag computer. Ang uban na sa ilaha, ang ilaha lang kaya buhaton is i-on, i-off ilahang mga computers, i-click tong software na ginagamit nila siguro sa ilahang day-to-day task, and then they do their task. Basically, ingana lang. So, wala sila saktong kahibalo or training with respect to addressing PC problems. Okay? Okay, again lagi, dili na nila linyada. So, whenever they encounter problems, mo na mag-expect na ka nga, muduol din na sila sa tech support. Okay, ang tech support na ang ilang tagaan og responsibilidad na ayuhon ang ilahang workstation so that they get to continue their task. Okay, nasabta na siya. Question so far? Karon pag moingon ta og technical support as what we have defined earlier, mo manage daw og computer system sa isa ka organization and you cover both hardware and software. So technically, si tech support as a job is actually a problem solver, no? Tigsulbad og mga problema. Only that by problem we mean problems with the computer. Again, both hardware and software. So, ang isa ka technical support staff or technical support personnel, expected na siya na kaantigo siya both hardware and software. So, if someone, for example, would ask for help, hardware ang problema, then the technical support is this time around, software po di lang concern, still the technical support is expected to have the idea on how to deal with the problem. Okay? So, unsa ba usually ang ato ang ma-encounter as a technical support staff or personnel? So, we always are prompted with PC problems. Okay, normally manggod sa mga organizations, personal computer manggod ang gamit, particularly desktop computers, no? Talagsa ra siguro kaya makakita og trabahoan nga naka-laptop ang mga trabahante, no? Laptop ang ginagamit nila to digitize and automate processes. Normally, it's actually desktop PCs ang ginagamit. Okay? So, karon kung maka-encounter si technical support o problema, whether iyahagid ng PC ang nagka-problema or it is someone else's PC na kinahanglan niya ayuson, natay ginatawag na troubleshooting. Natay term na troubleshooting. So, pag may kag troubleshooting, unsa bay pasabot nato ana? What is your understanding with the term troubleshooting? Okay, Mr. Golanes is saying diagnosing the problem. Ms. Villa Flores is saying resolving the issue. Okay, how about the rest? Nabay nagdungag, wala. Okay, so pag may troubleshooting, it's not just about solving the problem. So dili lang na kay identifying the solution, no? It's an important element of troubleshooting. Pero pag may troubleshooting, it will always begin with understanding the problem. And by understanding the problem, pasabot nato, i-figure out nimo as a technical support personnel or staff ngano nag-exist na nga problem. Unsa bay hinungdan nganong naay ingana nga klase sa problem. That's actually the first part of troubleshooting. Kunya importante na siya tungod kay ang imuhang next course of action or ang imuhang solution nga ipatuman magdepende sa kung unsa imuhang nasabtan or na-discover during sa imuhang initial stage of troubleshooting. Unsa itong pasabot, ana? Let's say, for example, na ay isa ka particular, butang na lang nato ha, nata sa BPO nga setting. Kita tong technical support. You can think of yourself as a technical support staff. Na ay trabahante dito, butang na lang nato agent, na naay problema sa iyahang unit. Na siya'y kinahanglan i-visit na website. However, nagreklamo siya nga dili niya ma-visit ang website. And then, nangita siya tabang sa technical support. Lucky you, ikaw lang ang available anak nga time to assist the user. So, wala kay laing choice, di ka pwede mo balibad, kinahanglan mo siya tabangan. So, nakabalo ka na ang iyahang concern is dili niya ma-access tong website. So, di ba normally, once na-identify nato ang problem, normally, ang ato ang sunod buhaton is to identify the solution right away. But the truth is, pag magtrabaho ka as technical support, so that you can address the issue or solve the problem effectively, again, you have to consider the first part of troubleshooting. Yes, na-recognize nimo ang problem, dili maka-access ang user sa website, pero you have to know more than that. So you get to ask yourself, dili siya maka-access sa website, unsa kaya mga posibleng hinungdan? Connected kaya or nakataod kaya iyahang cable? Naka-on kaya ang modem? Naka-on kaya ang router? Naa kaya gyoy connectivity coming from the ISP? Tama kaha ang link na iyahang ginatry og access? Kung gitype niya ang URL mano-mano, wala kaha siya na typo. So, you have to ask these questions covering all the possibilities of why the problem exists. Sa ingana nga pamaagi, mas dali nimo subayon unsa nga solution imuhang buhaton or i-suggest didto sa imuhang user. No? So, kada usa dito sa pangutana nga atong gihatag, imo putong subayon. Let's say for example, ninyong ka, connected ka iyang cable, so you will have to check physically. Tan-awon nimo kung ang cable ba sa iyang unit connected ba sa router or sa modem. Because that could somehow be the reason nganong dili niya ma-access ang website kay walay connectivity at all. Kung pagpangutanan nimo naa kayay connectivity gid coming from the ISP, so you can also check on that. Pwede nimo gamiton ang laing mga working PCs and then try to establish a connection. If dili gyud gihapon makakonect sa ubang mga PCs or even sa imong, let's say for example, mobile device, then perhaps basin wala gyud connectivity gikan sa ISP mismo. And that's something we cannot do about, no? Wala tayong mabuhat. Pwede po, if you have wondered, tama kaya ang link na iyang gigamit? So basin, sige siya og butang og link, pero dili nito mao ang link sa website or sa webpage na gusto niya tan-awon. Okay, so that's actually possible. So, mo na nga, you have to understand first the problem by looking into the many different possibilities of why the problem exists. Okay, once manggod na figure out nimo unsay hinungdan, di ba mas dali mag-propose og solution? Di ba kay kung kintay katong sa particular example nato, dili siya ka-connect sa website na iyang gusto tan-awon. Ang problema day adto kay mali ang link iyang gigamit. Would you require or would you suggest to the person to restart the unit, to turn on, turn off the router or the modem? Dili na, because these things are unnecessary. Kaya na sulbaron ang iyang problema sa laing pamaagi. Tungod kay, again, imuha mang gisubay. Unsay mga posibleng hinungdan ngano naka-experience sa adto nga problema. Okay? And then, oftentimes, ang issues gyud sa mga users with respect to their machine, sayon ra kaayo. Sayon nga, usahay, it just needs common sense. Dili kinahanglan o kana ganing howd kayo ka or grabe na gyud kayo imong mga experiences. All you have to do is have the common sense and ma-figure out na nimo unsay pamaagi para matabangan si user sa iyahang technical na problema. Okay, klaro ba? Questions? How about the rest? Uy, Mr. Katakutan, welcome. May kinakaapas pa. Naay mga pangutana? Naaba sa inyo ha, katong senior high, ICT ang gipili na kuan. Dili man a strand no ang term sa bang term. Kanang tech voc tapos ICT in particular. Miss Villa Flores, ikaw? Mr. Gomera, ikaw pod? Both from UIC, no? Dili. Sa photocopier mi nag-OJT, sir. Kaya sa kung pagkahibalo manggod sa senior high kay basta naa ka sa TechVoc, you are required to do OJT. No? So, sige daw, would you want to share your experience sa inyong OJT? Kaya di ba as ICT, I think isa sa inyong mga gi-cover sa inyong senior high is PC troubleshooting pod. Oh, I see. Nag-focus mo sa graphic design. Not so much on PC troubleshooting. I understand. Okay. Sa isang magod ka klase ganiya, someone shared about her experience kay nag-OJT siya sa BPO. So, she was given or she was able to experience kani atong ginaistoryahan karon. Okay? She was able to assist an agent for a particular PC problem. So na-figure out mo po daw nila unsaon to without necessarily being trained at all, no? So I was wondering kung napod mo similar experiences. Anyway, sige lang, walay problema. Pero nasabtan ang concept ni tech support. dili na kayo ni siya layo sa to ano kay as people in the computing discipline, whether it's trained gyud tag taman-taman, part manggod sa atong kinahanglang tun-an ang kanina mga butang. Like, di ba? Naaman tay particular course that covers hardware and software. If I'm not mistaken, kato inyohang CSOM before sa summer, mo man ni ang coverage. Di ba? So, perhaps, nagian na nato ni siya. So, dili na nga na kalisod. So, puhon, kung mo agigid mo or mo tuyoon ninyo ang direction of becoming a technical support, kung fan kaayo mo og hardware, pagkuti-kuti sa hardware or sa software, then you can actually pursue career in as tech support. No, so, dili nga na kalisod. Sige, so wala na questions. Okay, so kung walay questions, for the rest of the period, since napamantay roughly 1 hour and a half, gamitan ninyo ang nahibiling time to work on a very simple activity lang. This is a group activity which I want you to do while we still have time. Murag, this is just a matter of recalling some personal experiences of the past. Or kung recent man na, wala tayong problema. Basta kay naay kinalaman dito sa ato ang topic na gina-cover karon. Okay, so hulata lang, I'll post the task on our Google Classroom. Sa Monday pohon, makamit pa man ta for the very last time, no? Last time for the term and last time for the semester. So that will be our last meeting. Hopefully, I get to invite sharers po, people who are working as technical support to at least share something, no? Maghatag og insight sa inyo ha. Unsa gyud ba ang mahitabo in actual kung mayong kaog tech support ang trabaho? Based sa ilahang nature of work o sa ilahang mga experiences, unsa man tong mga specific task nga ilahang gibuhat na naay kinalaman sa concept ni technical support. Hopefully, maka-provide sila sa Monday. So, muna ato ang buhaton sa Monday pohon. Okay? Also, sa Monday, we will do some activity. So, we'll do a little situational analysis. So, mura ba siya og scenario-based na problem solving? You will be given scenario, then I'll be expecting you to give me your response to that scenario. So, mura ba, given nga ani ang na-encounter na problema, how would you do it? Or how would you go about the problem? How will you solve the problem? So natay inganan na activity buhaton sa Monday that will also be done by group. No? So iandam na lang inyong mga kaugalingon. Try to review some basics. Sige daw, naapay questions? Naabay dili klaro sa inyo ha? Any questions?
Wala na, sir.
Okay, sige. So kung wala na, again as mentioned, naanay gi-post nga activity sa Google Classroom. Paki-check na lang palihog PLA number 12. So please use the rest of the time that we have to work on that activity. Once you are done, isubmit lang pud palihog ang inyong output. Okay? Now, as you do the activity, ipabili na kung open ato ang Google Meet so that you can ask questions if there's a need for you to do that. Okay? Pero once mahuman mo, you are actually dismissed, no? So magkita na lang tabalik sa Monday puhon. Okay? So sige, gamitan ninyo ang nahibilan na time. Please work on with the activity and then submit that as soon as you are finished. Ang questions kung naaman, please feel free to write them down using our chat box. Or if gusto ninyo mag-microphone, wala say problema.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Hello, Camille?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Ako'y concern, sir, baka nang email mo sa ako ang your IC registrar, sir. Tapos, hindi daw na ako mapasag for 137. Pwede ba
Okay.
ako sir, mag-ask kung ka ng letter, sir, para makuha na ako dito sa akong old school ang form 137.
Mag-ask og letter.
Yes, sir, kay kinapangayuan ko nila. I mean, request form dahil, sir. Request that, sir.
Ang imong pasabot sa other school is ang imong high school.
Sir, sir, katong senior high na ako na school, sir, previous.
Okay. Ako ang suggestion na lang siguro, no, you call the office of the registrars and then ipangutana sa ila because I think pwede man gud yata school to school ang communication. Or if not, at least makahatag og input sa imuha si registrar kung unsaon nimo pag-process ang katong ilahang ginapangayo.
Okay, sir.
Okay, anyway, pwede man gud maka-visit if kinahanglan gyud nga physical copy ang katong murag requisition form, pwede man mo visit diri sa school, abri man ang registrar's office. Wala lang jud ko kabalo exactly sa ilahang proseso man gud, so I cannot give a definite answer to your question.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So kato na lang ha, Miss Camille, kung pwede ka makatawag or maka-email sa registrar, pangayo sa ila og specific instructions kung unsaon nimo pagproseso tong form 137.
Okay po, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sige, you're welcome.
Hello, sir. Sir,
Yes, Mr. De Niro.
sir, kanang isa na dili maka-appeal, sir ba? So, balimurag, naay isa ka group ng mga upat yata, sir.
O sige, walay problema.
Sige, sir.
Sir,
Yes, Mr. Delgado.
aning sa having group of 3 people, sir, baka na bitang sa 5 personal experience each ni sir or 5 na din ni Salim.
You have
Modulo.
you have to discuss 5 each, pero kung naay common, you can actually identify that and name that as just a single. So as a group, 5 ra gyud ako ang gina-expect gikan sa inyo ha.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
So
sir.
dili siya 15 ha, 15 nga tungod kay tulo mo, nya lima mo. It's not like that. 5 lang sa isa ka grupo mo nang kinahanglan niyo mag-discuss.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome.